The PS2 era of Dragon Ball Z games was special. It started with Budokai 1 in 2002 and ended in 2008 with the release of Infinite World. The PS2 era had a mix of 3D fighting with arena fighters and even action-adventure beat-em-up style games thrown around in the mix as well. Considering how highly people speak of the PS2 era of Dragon Ball Z games, today I'll be ranking each game starting with the worst game and then progressively getting to the best game, in my opinion. If you have any discrepancies or anything that you think should change or why you think your favorite game is the best, please leave it in the comment section below. Now, normally in a video like this, I would consider metrics such as, does the game tell the story of Dragon Ball Z properly? Does the game appeal only to hardcore fans of the series? Or can anyone pick this up and enjoy it? Today, we're mainly going based off of vibes, because these games are very similar from a narrative standpoint. They all just tell the same story of Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga, Buu Saga for the most part. Obviously, there are a little bit of discrepancies. Some games tell the movie stories as well. Some games throw some odd wrenches in there, like we'll get to. But overall, same idea. Starting with what I think is the worst Dragon Ball Z game on the PlayStation 2, Dragon Ball Z Sagas. Now, I don't understand how this game came to be. I do wish it was more anything than what we actually got. I feel like they kind of just like half-assed the game in a way. They kind of just threw it together. And I don't like that, because I think that if we got a remake of the game and it was like repurposed to be more of a Ninja Gaiden style, maybe even a Dark Souls type style, because I've seen the way that, like, okay, you lose and then you have to restart the whole entire level over again. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We're getting a little Dark Soulsy with it. But I think there was like a lack of like progression that like stayed. So then you had to restart everything. You lost all the progress. And I was like, ugh, I don't really like that. I think the game was made for co-op, because my good memories of the game all come from me playing the game couch co-op with my cousin growing up. So if anything, I feel a little biased, like trying to put anything higher than worse on the list, because objectively it is not the best game. And even like playing it, when I was playing all the games for this video, I could easily feel, okay, you know what, this actually, compared to the rest of these games, I wouldn't feel right putting this above anything else. Next, we got Super Dragon Ball Z. Now, this one is a weird one for me, because essentially it's just an arcade game made to be played with a PS2 controller. Like, the gameplay's cool, but compared to the other games on the list, it's just, I can't put it any higher. Just simply due to how good the other games are. This one is fun. This one has its fun for sure, especially if you have, like, you know, someone else to play it with. I think, like, you know, y'all going back and forth playing it would be kind of fun. I don't know like what the competitive scene looks like on this, if there is one, but this game does feel the most like an actual fighting game to me, with like the round-based combat, and then like, you know, it's kind of like the 3D arena style. Like, I like it, and I think given a proper remake, remaster kind of thing, like some modernized controls a bit maybe, I don't really know for sure, I think this could be a really like fun game if it was, you know, made today. But even the PS2 version is still just as good. Now next we're getting into, you know, some weird territory here, okay? Hot take, but next game is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. Now, why I put the first Budokai Tenkaichi here and not just a Budokai game, this is the first installment in the greatest Dragon Ball Z game series, in my opinion. I don't understand how they even made this game in 2005, but it's amazing. But the only issue and why I have it so low is that it's a super rough form of what Budokai Tenkaichi is, and this is a necessary step in order for us to get the great games that come after, right? So with that being said, I kind of gotta like drop it down a little bit, and it's cool 3D, you know, you got your like the system that we're still using to this day with Sparking Zero, and even in games like Xenoverse as well. Like, this game is this game is important for setting that foundation. But I just like the next game a little bit better. The next game is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. I know. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love this game. I really like the board game style. Growing up, I would spend hours just grinding and trying to, you know, collect all the Dragon Balls and do all the stuff. I have a video of me playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, and even playing it in 2026, I feel like this is a great story mode. Like, straight up RPG elements. It feels fun. It feels good. It's honestly one of my favorite ways to play Dragon Ball Z. Now, they did kind of overdo it with like the Majin, Frieza and Cell stuff, and like I feel like at that point they could have just added like maybe some movie villains maybe, but I don't know what all they had to work with at the time. Like, I don't know if they had assets for like a cooler or anything like that, but yeah, that's the only gripe, is that like some of it just simply didn't make sense. But that's the fun in it though, because it's like at that point you should already know the story of Dragon Ball Z if you're playing the game and playing through the story mode. But if not, it gives you a rough idea of what it actually is. So, but the reason why it's this low on the list is because even though it had some improvements from the first game gameplay wise, it's just inferior to the next game in the series. So still super fun overall. Next up is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1. Bro, just looking back, this game is like actually insane. This is probably the best one-to-one retelling of the series on PlayStation 2, just due to like the cutscenes, even the voice acting. Like you got the what if storylines that you can do as well with the side arcs after you beat the game the first time with Goku, basically just going through Goku stuff. Like, great. Just overall great game. Even the random mini games that you got, you know, like Piccolo's mini game, and then the one where Goku's holding Raditz, like that type of stuff. It's just fun, bro. It felt fun. And you got one of the hardest fights with Perfect Cell, even though I think Frieza was a little bit harder for me personally. I don't know why, bro. He just kept spamming, like, you know how it'd be. But I do wish the game was a little bit more, you know. I think this game with like Budokai 3 combat or something would be insane. I'm not sure if there were any like crazy changes or anything with the HD remaster that came out on PS3. I didn't play that version. I played the PS2 version for the sake of the video, but yeah, that's a story for another time. Next on the list is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Okay, now unlike a lot of people, right? I'm not sure if I'm in the minority here, but I played this game on the Wii when I was growing up. I played so many hours of this that I knew the animations for all like the characters that I used and stuff, like Trunks, Vegeta, Gohan, and I would just like use the Wii remote to like try to like create the animation. Like it needed motion controls and stuff, because I would like gaslight my friends into thinking that you needed motion controls whenever they came over. Bro, I was playing Ultimate Battle, climbing the ladders. I'd spend hours just flying around in the story mode, bro. Like, bro, this game got a special place in my heart, bro. Honestly, if this was a biased list, or if I incorporated more of my bias into this list, I would have like put this shit number 1. Like, genuinely, I would have put this in number 1, because it is that good. Like, this is genuinely one of the best like Dragon Ball Z games I've ever played, bro. I think if we could get a remaster of this, like, bro, a remaster of Budokai Tenkaichi 2 with like Sparking Zero graphics and like story, because you can add like tournament power story, universal survival arc. You can even go to Universe 6. And I don't know if they have Dragon Ball Z Universe 6. I genuinely don't know. But, like, that would be cool. Well, I would assume so, because they have Namekians. But, whatever. Budokai Tenkaichi 2 is peak. Just know that. Next game on the list is Dragon Ball Z Infinite World. Now, this is actually the final game in the Dragon Ball Z PlayStation 2 era. And I kind of am sitting in a weird spot with this game. I feel like, combat-wise, this is probably like the best Budokai series game, because it just, I mean, I feel like it just took the lessons learned from all the, you know, Budokai games and made an actual like good combat. Like, it feels good, but the story mode is really weird. And like, I say weird in a good way for Budokai 2, but when it comes to Infinite World, this is like, I don't know, maybe it was just because I was already kind of tired playing the games, because this was like one of the last games I had played when I was playing through all of them. So like, I don't know, but the cutscenes were cool. Some of the mini games are cool, but honestly, I would have preferred a blend of Budokai 1 and 3 story-wise. Like, maybe like do like a faithful retelling, because Budokai 1 didn't go to the Majin Buu saga, so you could add that in there for Infinite World. So then you add the Buu saga in there and just, you know, do some cutscenes and all that stuff. And maybe you have a couple what if storylines here and there, similar to what you did with Budokai 3. But really, I like the change gameplay wise to hyper mode, which I'll get into when we talk about Budokai 3. But something about the game just feels empty. I don't know, it just felt strange. I didn't play it for a crazy long time, so maybe there is something that I'm missing about it, and you guys can let me know in the comments if, you know, I'm just tripping or whatever. But I don't know if, because it was the last game, that they were just like rushing to make something better for the PS3, so they were just like, all right, whatever, just throw out Infinite World. But I don't know, it didn't really click for me in a lot of places. But that being said, objectively, it is just better than the other games that I've put on this list. Maybe there might be arguments made for the Budokai Tenkaichi series, just if you like 3D more than, you know, 2.5D. Is Budokai in 3D because there's a third plane? You know what? Question for another time. Second to last game on the list, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. There's a reason people are still playing this game to this day. The gameplay is almost perfect. With the exception of the hyper mode minigame, bro, I have like genuine trauma. If you see the Budokai 3 video I uploaded, bro, a lot of it is cut out, but I was genuinely getting spammed with hyper mode every single fight. I was getting spammed, bro. At least for me, I didn't feel like there was really much of a defense against it. Once they like launch you and then you get put into the minigame, and then it basically just turns into Ultimate Tenkaichi, which like nobody wants that. So that was the only thing. I think if it was like maybe done like once a fight, or like, you know, maybe they split it into rounds and it was once a round, maybe I could, you know, get down with that. But bro, it was just ridiculous how easy it is just to activate it, bro. But yeah, whenever you're getting spammed with it, it's not fun. That's the only real downside, honestly, gameplay wise, because dude, this felt peak. Like from Budokai 1 to Budokai 2, you can feel like the natural progression, and then Budokai 3, it just felt like they locked in and they learned so many lessons and like genuinely created like a great fighting game, or just an anime fighting game in general, I guess. My favorite part is the story mode. Peak. I love the fact that you can fly around, you can collect Dragon Balls, even get into some like what if scenarios, and everybody has their own kind of story mode too. So you see it from the perspective of a bunch of different people, and that in turn creates replayability. And you can collect the Dragon Balls over and over again. You can like level up and like get stronger, get more health, get more like ki and stuff like that. Like, it's really cool, bro. It's a really cool game. The only thing is, you don't really have like those great cutscenes and mini games from like Budokai 1, or even like the weird randomness of Budokai 2, right? Like, it feels a lot more streamlined in that sense. But yeah, it's a really good game all around though, bro. I really like the combat. It's like, again, with the exception of hyper mode, this is like the best combat I think we've seen until the next game. And the next game, which is the last game, is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Now, believe it or not, I wasn't really playing this growing up. When everyone was playing this, I was still playing Budokai Tenkaichi 2 on my Wii. I just saw Budokai Tenkaichi 3 as Tenkaichi 2 with a bigger roster, and I didn't really need that. Also, the game was just never on sale at my GameStop for some reason, or if it was on sale, people were just grabbing it, because I just never saw it on sale, which is another reason why I never grabbed it. But yeah, I was on this pretty heavy. I mean, I was on Tenkaichi 2 really heavy. I've only played Tenkaichi 3 like in my adult years, so I don't really have that childhood part to grab onto like I do with a lot of these other games on this list. But I can acknowledge that this is just straight up peak. Like, this is like the best, purest form of Budokai Tenkaichi series. Like, this is it, the pinnacle. Same way how Budokai 3 took the lessons from 1 and 2 and built something special, the exact same thing with Budokai Tenkaichi 3. It took the lessons from 1 and 2 and then made 3 a great game. I do think though that I like 2 story mode a little bit more, but I do like 3 story mode where you can see things from the villain's perspective, like some of the fights where you play as Cell in the Android Saga, for example. Gameplay wise, when I first played this a few years ago, I was blown away. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the gameplay could get better than this. The Sparking Zero gameplay, I'm not gonna say it's worse, right? Because that's just not true. But I think Sparking Zero could still take some lessons from Budokai Tenkaichi 3. We're getting a Sparking Zero update soon, so like, you know, maybe, you know, we can get a little closer to what a Budokai Tenkaichi 4 would look like. But yeah, for now we'll have to just stick with the mods on PC. But yeah, like I said, only con for this game, in my opinion, is the way the story mode is structured. It is linear. It is like better, in my opinion, than like pretty much all the other story modes except for Budokai 1 as far as like linearness goes. But yeah, I like the story mode. I like the way it plays. I think for my taste and my cup of tea, I prefer 2 because I like the flying around and stuff like that. And then you got to buy your upgrades and stuff at Baba Shop. Like, I fuck with that. But overall, I think Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is the best game that you can play, or the best Dragon Ball Z game you can play on PlayStation 2. But with that being said, it's time for me to say goodbye. Look, I appreciate you guys for making it this far in the video. I just realized I am also wearing a green shirt right now, so my head is probably floating. But yeah, I think that PS2 was like low-key the golden age of Dragon Ball games, I think. We'll look at PS3 if, like, you know, that's something you guys are down for. If there's another game series that you guys want me to compile into a video similar to this, let me know in the comments. I think that PS2, Dragon Ball Z, you can't get better than that. for PS3, I think there's like 5 games, I think, that came out for PS3 during that era. I'm also including the HD collection as well of Budokai 1 and 3. I can't really remember off the top of my head. Because I think PS3 we had Raging Blast 1, 2, Burst Limit. Didn't Xenoverse come out on PS3? The first one? And then the HD collection? Oh, Once with Tenkaichi, I think that's I think that's the 3. But yeah, we could definitely tap into those for sure. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm thinking about doing more videos like this and less of what we have been doing on the channel. But that's up to you guys though. You guys like this? You guys like these types of videos? You guys like the other videos where it's more like a let's play kind of thing? Or do you guys like the My Hero Academia series where like I'm going around trying to get a win and it's just a series of videos, you know what I mean? Building up to that point. Yeah, just let me know though. Appreciate you guys making it this far in the video. Leave a like, comment, some suggestions, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, later. Peace.